Hey guys, welcome back to the farm. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, stick around for a while. We cloned our 8400, turned it into an 8410 and hooked it to the planter. This is our planting tractor. We've had this since probably 04. This is a 1998 roughly. Put front duals on it. Yeah, you see when we had it in the shop earlier, the manifold gaskets were about blown on it. On the other side, it was blowing black smoke everywhere, so we had to change them. Original 25-year-old tractor. Got a new muffler for it because this thing was blowing out too. And while we're in there, we took off all the panels and we waxed it and painted it a little bit. Painted some of these grates up here, and the decal was peeling right off. It was all messed up on these older tractors. You'll see that. So Greg took a heat gun, peeled it off. Dad ended up ordering the wrong one. That's for an 8410. They laid it on there anyway, and she looks good. So this is an 8400. Got some really hilly ground up north here, and we don't want this planter is heavy duty, 16 row. You get it filled with fertilizer, she starts to dig with them no-till coulters on there. I'll show you them in a second. But this tank on the back, this is for our pop-up fertilizer. This is for in-furrow. We're filling this tank full of water right now because we're gonna check it and make sure it's going in there properly in the rows. And there's a pump here, here, and here. Everything seems to be working pretty good. We had an issue with the planter wanting to spin, but she's now spun and in position. I'm gonna check the tires all over, and there's some drive tires that drive the units. Those gotta have a certain amount of air pressure in them. We're not gonna grease anything until we're done working on it because you'll get grease everywhere. We got the boxes off it because we're gonna take and you'll turn these and make sure everything's fine. And then you can dump some graphite in here and you can clean these with a brush because there's an eye in there. Also, we're checking these bicycle chains and they look kind of rough. And some we're going to replace and some we're just going to lube up. But beyond that, oh, and I got to check the fertilizer hoses. They're make sure they're not gummed up. I got a bucket of water out here. We're going to take and clean them up because we're going to pour the fertilizer to it. And that way we can get ready, get going, and hit the field tomorrow morning. That's the goal. Other than that, 16-row Kinsey, we bought this up in Frankenmuth, and it's been a good planter. She's no spring chicken, but it gets the job done. So that's what's going on. Let's go. See, you got these filters for this fertilizer. We cleaned these out last year, but some will still find its way down there. And will that come out? Come on out, bud. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll clean that all out. Put it in there, wash it down, and be good to go. Also take these clips out, open this up and spray some air down there and it'll shoot. And make sure there's air coming through these, that these aren't plugged, because the fertilizer will go in there and these balls will be bouncing up and down in there. And that's how you know your fertilizer's going on. What I'll do a lot of times is write the air pressure right on this rim. That way I know it's got to have 50 in it. This is what turns the seed units. These little drive tires. Next, we got an old John Deere 420 tractor here that we're charging the battery up on it. We're going to put in the auction, creating a little bit of barn space. Just something we don't use anymore and needs to go to someone that's going to use it. I did them main drive tires. There's 4 right there that while it was in transport, those are all good to go. Tires are good. Now I'm going to check them fertilizer. What I do is get a small little screwdriver, pull this clip out. Remember how these come off. Okay. And I'll stick the air nozzle in there and see if she comes out the row. Can't quite see over there. Takes 2 people, really. And there it went. See that liquid on the ground there? We're open. Another thing I'll do is I'll take this little punch and I'll put it in there just to make sure nothing gummy in there. Guys, next day, that was Mark ripping that field last night, getting ready for today and tomorrow. 80 degrees and sunny. I just got done feeding the cows. Planters checked over. We're gonna head down there, starting at the dry cow lot. That ground appears to be ready first, and we're gonna fill the planter with seed and fertilizer. Let's go. When she's full, it's go time. Lay the planter down back here. We're going to see if it's each row is laying the seed down before he hits the field. Left a strip here where he's starting. One there. Now I'm going to stop. Yep, they're dropping. Now he's going to back up and set it down where we started. check to make sure everything's still intact. First day of planting and we're moving. There goes Mark. He's going to get that, check that cultivator out, unfold that big cultivator, and he's going to work another piece so then they can spread fertilizer on it. We need to get this rolling harrow out. He wants to hook it behind that on a couple other pieces where we've been spreading manure. It's a little lumpy, so we got to get this horse out of the way. I think we found a job for this, and that's going to be the grain cart. We are going to keep it. And our discs. This is for disking cow manure ground. But yeah, he's got her a little dusty. All done. All the painting we did on it was all we're gonna do. We used it a little bit. We'll have to see it, check it out on the field once we really start using it. But yeah, she's got a little mud on the wheel, so I think she found a home with us right here. Dad ran it a little bit. Says they need to put a suicide knob on the steering wheel. There's not one. Oh yeah, she cruises. There's not a suicide knob on the steering wheel, but he says it needs one. Says she steers a little rough compared to, you know, a 9400 or especially that 9560R. It's a bit of a year difference, age difference in these. Speaking of age difference, we'll use this girl to pull out that rolling baskets. This one's older yet. We are just going to try to spin this out. No big deal. Give her a little turn. Just a little turn, girl. Oh yeah. Turner here. I'm going to put it in the field somewhere open so he can get to it. Get hooked to it with that big rig. This is our new rolling harrow. It's going to be quite the sight seeing that 45-foot cultivator, that 9560R, and this big harrow behind it. These are our biggest rig on the field to date. Look how dry it is out here. Tiled field. Got to fill the planter back up. He's about halfway done with this field already.
Putting on 4 gallons at 40. It should be, this is 40 acres.
It's some colders that do it.
Oh, yeah. So hard.
One more bag. Feed's in, fertilizer's going in. Now we just come across here and look for anything that don't look right. We don't want it, something that shouldn't be loose or
These are all full, huh? There you go.
back up at the main farm here. Cows locked in to get milk. It's already milking time. Locked in. They've started. Lonnie and Annabelle are milking. I just got done scraping some of this barnyard and everything in between the bunks. There's a watering trough. That's where they're drinking. Munching on a hay bale. And I've got the bunks filling up as we speak. And I think I seen Dad. He just finished up with that first 50 acres. We're going to see him out back here fueling up. And then we'll check it all over again. And he's going to hit another 40 tomorrow. A whole bunch. So we'll check that planter out, and so he can hit the ground running in the morning. Extremely cool feed coming out of that bag and that silo. Thank goodness, because it's 80 degrees out. You need it to be cool. Cool feed, fresh, keeps the cows cool when they eat it. Round front here, I'm just gonna go along here and on these little fertilizer tubes here, take a knock. See, they got binder twine on them. We used to feed out in that used to be a pasture that we're planting into about 15 years ago. And we used to, and that was when we used, these weren't net wrap, they were binder twine, and we used to put bales out throughout that field, and the cows would go out there in the winter. And you try to get as much of these strings as you could. But now there's net wrap and you can get almost all of it. But I'll clean these off and make sure none of these are plugged. And we'll go from there. Look at that one. That one was plugged. And now the hose is going to drain out. So that row, well, this is a 2x2, but so this row only got 2. Didn't get the 2x2. Depending on when it plugged. Get up underneath. And we're in the milking parlor. The day's not quite over. Greg's doing some clearing some brush. Mark's working another 50 acres, getting it ready to plant for tomorrow. So Lonnie's gonna tackle the calves. I'm gonna cover milking. Annabelle's down there. Annabelle's doing her thing. You like milking?
Yeah.
New fresh heifer just came in. She's nice. Let's get her, put her on.
like a going to bed. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I.
Alright guys, back home. First day of planting, 50 acres in the books. We're going to hit the ground running tomorrow, keep moving. Relaxing, kids are running around, getting crazy. Take care, see you in the next video. God bless.